He will be speaking in favor of digital and media literacy programs to combat anti-Semitism.
On June 8th of this year, I was on Instagram. After several minutes of scrolling, I came across a post that perplexed me. It was a photo of the U.S. House in a menorah. Incredibly confused by what the image was trying to convey, I read the caption. The caption said, "Just in case anyone questioned who was really running our government, the Zionists are running the country through the media, Congress, and the White House." I was stunned. I couldn't believe that people thought these unfounded and impossible things and went to the comments to see people dispute this person's claims. Instead, I became horrified. All of the comments agreed with the original poster. This post made me understand how widespread anti-Semitism is. Hateful lies like these are being spread must be stopped. However, many believe that the government does not need to fix rising anti-Semitism. They state that misinformation is not prevalent enough to require government intervention, that hate is targeted against the state of Israel and Zionists, not Jews, or that hate crime laws should be stricter. These claims are not true. In order to mitigate anti-Semitism, the Department of Education must develop programs focused on increasing media and digital literacy and stopping the spread of anti-Semitism. There has been a staggering rise in anti-Semitism through hate speech and hate crimes. Hate speech is described by Webster's Dictionary as speech expressing hatred of a particular group of people, and hate crimes as any of various crimes motivated by the hostility to the victim as a member of a group. Hate speech and hate crimes against the Jewish people are increasing rapidly. According to a 2022 article by the Anti-Defamation League, the United States had a rise in anti-Semitic instances in 2022, with nearly 1,500 more acts of violence against Jewish Americans than the year before, representing a 34% increase in 1 year alone. This has only gotten worse since the beginning of the war in Gaza. This current world event has created ripe opportunities for people with evil intentions to create false rumors, disparage Israel, and spread Jewish hate. When people are convinced Israel is evil, it is a short step to hating Jewish people. Zionism is defined by the Oxford Dictionary as a movement for the development and protection of the Jewish nation in what is now Israel. The line between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism is hard to define. To Jews who support Israel and its right to exist, there is no line. The aforementioned Anti-Defamation League article states, many anti-Zionists can embed historic anti-Semitic tropes in their criticism of Israel without significant pushback. Anti-Zionist plans come in all shapes and sizes, all with the end goal to make the state of Israel look evil and Jewish people by association. The rise of anti-Semitism is being spread over the internet, on social media, through misinformation and disinformation. Misinformation are lies spread unknowingly, and disinformation are lies spread with the intention of misleading people. False information has always existed, but the internet has made spreading false information near instant. According to an Associated Press article, on January 8th of this year, police skirmished with the Jewish Orthodox group known as Chabad in Brooklyn. The police found a series of underground tunnels beneath the synagogues in the area. The purpose of these tunnels was to illegally extend the synagogues and was stopped by the officers. If you were on social media in the days following this, you would instead believe that the tunnels were for child sex trafficking and other crimes. Hateful, inaccurate conspiracy theories about Jews are being spread and believed, affecting the Jewish population across the country. Anti-Semitic misinformation is being believed at an alarming rate. An article by the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism has found that the number of Jewish allies is shrinking, and the number of people who are indifferent or hate the population is growing. By asking questions that target explicit biases and unconscious beliefs, the Foundation found in June 2023, 42% of people ages 18 to 29 were Jewish allies or leaning that way, 39% were indifferent, and 19% were leaning towards hating Jews or actively hating them. Only 1 year later, the percentage of allies dropped to 22%, while those that leaned towards hating the religious group grew to 32%. The increase in hatred is a terrifying reality that Jewish Americans recognize. A Pew Researcher article states that more than 9 in 10 U.S. Jews surveyed say there's at least some anti-Semitism in America, and 3/4 say there's more anti-Semitism in the U.S. today than there was 5 years ago. The rise in anti-Semitism is obvious, and something must be done. So, what can we do? Some people believe that the best way to help American Jews is to increase the punishments for hate crimes. This is not how the problem of anti-Semitism should be solved. Quitting waiting for hate to turn to violence will not help. Furthermore, when perpetrators of hate crimes are caught, it's hard to prove they have actually committed them. In an interview with Scott of ABC News, Deputy Legal Director Scott McCoy of the Southern Poverty Law Center tells the interviewer that hate crimes involve someone literally beating someone up and yelling racial epithets at them while they're being beaten up. But that rarely happens in society. The difficulties with identifying hate crimes is a small issue compared to punishing them. Hate crimes should not be punished harder than regular crimes. If a member of a minority and a majority are both murdered, why should one murderer be punished more than the other? Having hate crimes with higher punishments means that the life or property of another person is worth more than another's, and that is against the equality minorities strive for. Punishing violence does nothing to solve the underlying issue and will only take away the freedoms of others. The Department of Education must step in with programs to spread true information in a sea of falsehoods. Since false information will still be spread, the best option is to teach the American public on how to recognize misinformation and disinformation. The Department of Education must put effort into teaching Americans how to recognize fake news. Jessica Roberts, a faculty member of the Salzburg Academy on Media and Global Change, says in a Salzburg seminar article that civic and civil education are key pillars in fighting disinformation because students who've been educated about media systems, how to determine the quality of information, and how to evaluate different sources will become better at identifying disinformation. Recognizing reputable sources, understanding the identifiers of AI-generated photos, and knowing the signs of a person trying to indoctrinate you into a hateful ideology are all valuable skills. The Department of Education must impart these lessons on the American public. This can be done by putting out social media ads that tell the public these facts and implementing recognizing good sources as part of English curriculums. The Department of Education needs to allocate resources to teaching media and digital literacy. Common Sense, an organization dedicated towards helping children understand the internet and how to be good digital citizens, is a prime example of what the Department of Education needs to do. An opportunity given to them by the British government let Common Sense partner with the London School of Economics to create classes and studies for children 6 to 16. Common Sense taught digital and media literacy. The United States needs to have similar programs. It falls on the Department of Education to follow in the footsteps of the UK and teach children media and digital literacy. The rise of anti-Semitism is a stain upon our country and the world, but it can be reversed. By implementing media literacy training, we can stem the flow of hate. The Department of Education must implement these policies in order to make America a safer place for the Jewish people. Teaching them how to recognize hateful lies, like the ones I saw in that Instagram post, will make the American population more aware of the negative impact that hate speech and hate crimes have on all minorities. Thank you.
We have two announcements this morning, the first of which is that the United States Naval Academy